I think we're making strides. I mean, we have a long ways to go. I don't think we're where we need to be. Um, and I think if you ask anybody, they would all say the same thing. We got a long ways to go. I still feel good about the guys we have. I'm excited about the potential we have offensively, and once you get in a game and you get those live reps, you can get a better understanding because it's tough when you go against your defense all the time and they have a pretty good idea what you're doing and you know what they're doing and so we'll see. But we got some work to do.
Hey, Brandon, what are some of the things that you've been working on, throughout this camp that you want to test yourself and see if you can carry over to live game action against an actual opponent?
Again, that completion percentage, you got to get completions. If it's whatever it may be, first down, third down, get completions. We got great backs. We got great guys underneath that can catch the ball and make plays. Again, managing the offense. Doing my part to move the football and throw the ball accurately. Throw to the open guy, obviously, but go through my progressions and get a better understanding of this offense. So all that consumes up to more completions.
Do you detect any frustration in Trent's part, not being told he's not going to play when he feels he's healthy?
No, I mean if it was week one, maybe, but no, I mean he seems fine with it. I mean he's a competitor, he wants to play, but fortunately he's missing games that realistically don't count against that win-loss record.
You talked about working on your feet to get quicker. How's that gone, and what can you say that you've done specifically to get quicker?
I think I've made pretty good strides. I've done a lot of stuff, whether it be jump rope. You see us doing drills before practice. Just being conscious about it. I think that's more than anything. What you do is just because if you just think about being faster and the drills and the routes on air and the stuff that not necessarily in the team reps, it'll carry over to the team reps. So stuff like that. I mean, just whatever it may be. A lot of jump rope, stuff like that, just to speed your feet up.
How's your chemistry been coming along with Jordan Cameron lately?
Jordan, you look at what San Diego did last year. They used Gates a lot, and they're pretty similar, as far as their athletic ability and ability to run routes. So he's a target. He's a big target. He can create mismatches with some backers and stuff. He can run. I think it's really good. I thought we had some pretty good chemistry last year. He caught some big passes down the stretch, and I'm excited about Jordan. He's a good player.
Yep.
Has the game slowed down a little bit for you now? When you're back there and you're going through your progressions and reading the defense and that, has that kind of gotten to a point where it's almost in slow motion? And
I don't know that it'll ever be in slow motion. These guys they're too fast for that. But I think the more my understanding of this offense, knowing where to start in the progression or knowing where to go with the football, that'll help slow it down. You still have to react and play fast because it's just fast on the other side of the ball. These guys are paid a lot of money to run fast and hit hard. So I would say, it's hard to tell until you get in the game because practice can be deceiving sometimes. So we'll see. You might ask me that's week 6 or 7.
I think the other night you said you're still making mistakes during practice. Everybody makes mistakes. But is there an area or two that you see yourself, or what's that area where is it not getting through the progressions fast enough? Is it not quite knowing exactly the plays, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think when you go back and watch the film, I think, working one side of the field and knowing where your checkdowns are, knowing, your underneath routes. I'm an aggressive thrower. It's just my personality. I'm an aggressive. I like to make throws in tight windows and do that thing. But I think, knowing when to take those shots and knowing when to be aggressive and then knowing when to just check it down and use our backs, use some of their abilities, get the ball in their hand in space. That's one thing. I miss a lot of, I'll try to throw a corner route or something when I may have something underneath that may get 6 or 7, 8 yards and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's where if I can get better in those areas, one, that completion percentage will go up, and then it allows us to get more first downs, put ourselves in. It's easier to go to 2nd and 3 versus 2nd and 10 in this league, and if you can get those underneath stuff when it's not there, it makes a little bit easier to call plays and to function as the 11 guys on the field.
Last year, the tight end position was unfamiliar to you coming out of Oklahoma State, and it took you a while to use them. You feel like it's natural now to look for the tight end?
Yeah. We had some good ones last year. Ben Watson had a lot of catches. I learned real quick that those guys are guys you need. I mean, they're a lot like we were talking about Devon. I mean, underneath guys that can throw it on their body and do some things there. I think so. Yeah, I learned real quick that those tight ends they'll bail you out more times than not, and so you gotta use them to your advantage.
Do you feel
what's
any
made
more
this-
pressure going into this game or these 4 preseason games this year as opposed to last year when you kind of knew that it was going to be your job? They had you pegged as the starter for sure. Was there any more pressure?
No, not really. Like I said, I know I have to play well, so I'm not putting any added pressure on myself.
Brandon,
What's made this offense already better than last year? Is it more unpredictability in first down, more weapons on third down? I mean, as you go into this first preseason game, what in your mind has already made things better for you?
I think knowing where to go with the ball and getting the ball out quick, getting the ball in those guys' hands as quick as possible. It makes it easier on the guys up front from not having to protect as long. Stuff like that. It's real set in stone. Where to go with the football depending on coverage and those things. So you gotta know where to go with football. If you can, it allows you to get the ball out quickly and while at the same time, I should say, while taking shots. So I think those couple things. We got to be good on third down. Last year we weren't very good on third down. I think if we can become a good third down football team, that's how you string together long drives, gives your defense a break, and allows you to score touchdowns versus kicking field goals.
hey, Brandon, on Saturday, Chud said the offense just isn't clicking yet. Are you confident that you guys can get it clicking, throughout this preseason and in time for September 8th?
Yeah, I'm confident. Absolutely. These are the dog days of camp. Defense is going to have their days where they win, and we're going to have days where we get them. That's just the way this thing goes. It's like that in high school, college, wherever you play. It's just part of this time of the year. But we didn't have a very good night Saturday. Throughout the entire night overall. So we knew we had to get better. We just hit a little lull there, and we got to bounce back from it. But I'm confident we'll get to where we need to go.
Brandon, for
A couple more
practices
questions.
in the preseason games, how do you walk the line of staying in rhythm with Josh, but also knowing he's not going to be those first 2 games and finding someone else to have a rhythm on that spot as well?
Well, I think Josh has got he's got to get his reps while he can, and then I've got to throw it to him while I can at the same time. He obviously won't be here for the first 2, so you have to. There's some give and take there. Travis or whoever takes his spot. For the first 2, we're going to have to use him, and he's going to have to get familiar with the route combinations and stuff like that as well. So, that's a good question. You can't just not throw it to him because he's not going to be there. You still got to throw it to him and give him a feel and give him an opportunity to make plays, and that when he comes back, we're ready to rock and roll.
Last year we talked a lot about Josh getting used to practicing at this level, and it wasn't always the consistent effort. Have you seen him progress in that area? Is it still a work in progress?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's playing fast. He's playing faster, and I think the nice thing about Josh this year is he's communicating. He'll come over and he'll talk to Scott, Coach Turner, and he'll say, I thought I saw this, it was bump and run, or it was bail, or whatever it was. He'll communicate, and he's getting a better understanding that way. So it's exciting. I think if he plays fast, he's got a lot of ability, and he's a big target guy that can create some mismatches.